Welcome, wherever you are, whatever brought you here, you've arrived at a quiet place. This is a soft journey through a world long gone, a world of whispering fields, bowed heads, and silent rituals, where the clack of wooden sandals echoed on beaten paths, and the rhythm of life followed the rise and fall of the seasons. Tonight we step gently into 17th century Japan during the Edo period. You won't need to worry about remembering names or keeping track of dates. There are no quizzes here, only calm stories slowly unfolding. This is a land of order, tradition, and quiet intensity. A world shaped by rice, honor, and an intricate web of social roles that left little room to move. We begin with the rice farmers, the backbone of Japan's rigid society. Their lives were defined not by glory or fame, but by persistence. They endured harsh labor, fickle weather, and heavy obligations, all while remaining nearly invisible to those above them. Let's walk with them now, slowly, quietly, and see what life was like if you were born to till the earth beneath the sandals of the samurai. Segment 1. Why it sucked to be a rice farmer in Edo. Japan. Imagine yourself waking in a small, thatched house, your bedding rolled tightly in the corner, the air still, chilled from the night. A thin stream of morning light filters through paper-covered windows, casting a faint glow on the packed dirt floor. There is no clock, no alarm, but your body knows. It always knows. You rise before the sun, because your labor belongs not to time but to duty. Before your first mouthful of millet porridge, you've already fetched water, fed the livestock, and prepared tools for the day ahead. You are a farmer, born into a lineage of farmers. And in Edo period Japan, that means rice, not just as food, but as currency, as tax, as burden, and as blessing. The rhythm of your year is dictated by the land. In spring, you wade into cold, murky paddies, the water lapping just above your ankles, planting seedling after seedling in silent rows. Your back aches, and your fingers prune. Your straw sandals slip in the mud. You keep going. By midsummer, the days grow heavy. The humidity presses like a weight, and the scent of damp earth lingers in your nostrils. You swat at mosquitoes that rise from the paddies, and pray that typhoons pass you by this year. A single storm can undo everything. In the autumn, you harvest with care, cutting the golden stalks and binding them in bunches. But not for yourself. The first and largest share of your yield belongs to your feudal lord. This is the nengu, the annual rice tax. It is expected without fail, measured in volume, not hardship. You hand it over, bowing low, your face unreadable. If the harvest was poor or the tax too steep, you go hungry, quietly, honorably. Because to protest is to risk punishment or shame. Your status in society is paradoxical. You are technically above merchants and artisans. A farmer is considered noble, for he works the land and feeds the nation. Yet in practice, you have little say. The village headman speaks for you. The local samurai oversees you. Their swords speak louder than your calloused hands ever could. And still there is pride. The village is a web of mutual endurance. You help neighbors mend roofs, share barley when winter bites early, and watch over each other's children during planting season. There is a quiet dignity in this shared struggle. Your evenings are brief and still. A bowl of rice if you've been lucky, pickled daikon perhaps, and a small charcoal brazier to warm the room. There are no books, just stories passed from mouth to ear. And maybe the clatter of a go-board if someone can stay awake. You fall asleep early, your body spent, your mind clouded by exhaustion. Tomorrow will be the same, and so will the day after. You do not dream of escape. Only of rain falling gently at the right time, and a harvest without disaster. In this world, survival is an act of quiet perseverance. No headlines, no heroics. Just the slow, steady rhythm of one muddy footstep after another. The air shifts. The mud underfoot gives way to the smooth stone of castle courtyards. We find ourselves in a different layer of Edo period Japan, a place of lacquered armor, ceremonial bows, and carefully concealed tension. This is the story of the 47 Ronin, perhaps the most quietly powerful tale in Japan's long history. A story not of conquest, but of patience. Not of passion, but of principle. It begins with a man named Asano Naganori, the young daimyo of Ako, a small domain, nestled in western Honshu. His path crosses with Kira Yoshinaka, a senior official of the shogunate known for his pride and for his demanding nature. In 1701, Asano is summoned to the Tokugawa shogun's castle in Edo to perform ceremonial duties. These rituals are complex, governed by layers of etiquette. Kira, assigned to instruct Asano, allegedly mocks him, belittles him, and eventually provokes him beyond the limits of restraint. In the stillness of the palace corridors, Asano draws his short sword and wounds Kira, but does not kill him. It is a grave breach of protocol. Weapons are forbidden within the castle walls. Violence here is unthinkable. The punishment is immediate. Asano is ordered to take his own life, seppuku, that very evening. No trial, no delay. His lands are confiscated. His family is stripped of title. And over 300 of his samurai become ronin, masterless warriors disgraced by the fall of their lord. Among them is Oishi Kuranosuke, Asano's chief retainer. He will become the quiet center of the storm to come. Now, in a more turbulent tale, vengeance might be swift. But this is Edo, Japan, where everything is layered in patience and ritual. The ronin wait. For nearly 2 years, they scatter. Some pretend to lose their way. Oishi himself takes to drink, visiting tea houses, appearing broken. His enemies laugh. They lower their guard. And then, on a snowy night in 1703, they strike. 47 ronin infiltrate Kira's estate. The snow muffles their footsteps. The wind carries their breath. It is not a battle, it is an act of grim ceremonial justice. Kira is found and executed. His head is carried through the streets of Edo, then offered at the grave of Lord Asano. There is no attempt to flee. The ronin wait calmly for judgment, and it comes. Though the people admire their loyalty, the shogunate cannot let this act of defiance stand. The 47 are ordered to commit seppuku, each one quietly, in turn, not with cries or rebellion, but with the stillness of men who have already made peace with the ending. Their graves lie today at Sengaku-ji, a quiet temple in Tokyo, still visited, still honored. What makes this story endure is not the act of vengeance, but the calm resolve that preceded it, the stillness between action and outcome. This is the world of the samurai, where silence can be louder than swordplay, and where honor may demand not victory, but self-erasure. Tonight, we remember them not as warriors, but as shadows that moved carefully through the snow, leaving behind not bloodshed, but a legend. Now let us slip further into the quiet corners of Edo, Japan, beyond the farms and beyond the castles, in small fishing villages, in candlelit homes tucked among the trees, in whispers behind closed doors, lived people whose faith had become a secret. These were the hidden Christians, or Kakure Kirishitan. To understand their silence, we must go back. In the late 1500s, European missionaries, mostly Portuguese Jesuits, arrived in Japan, bringing with them not only trade goods and gunpowder, but also the teachings of Christianity. At first, the faith took root. Converts were made. Churches were built. Nobles, peasants, and samurai alike were baptized. Christianity was seen by some as a modernizing force, a bridge to the West. But that tolerance was brief. As the Tokugawa shogunate rose to power, stability became the highest virtue, and foreign religion was seen as a potential crack in the wall. Allegiance to an unseen foreign god was viewed with suspicion, and the tight social fabric of Japan did not easily allow for dual loyalties. By the early 1600s, Christianity was outlawed. What followed was not just suppression, but methodical erasure. Churches were torn down. Priests were expelled, or worse, and believers were forced to publicly renounce their faith or face punishment. Some complied, many did not, but they went quiet. Imagine yourself in such a village, You still believe, but cannot say so. Your crucifix has been hidden, perhaps buried behind a wall or recarved into something that resembles a Buddhist statue. You still pray, but in altered forms. Your words passed down in whispered versions of Latin and Portuguese, smoothed into something new by generations of secrecy. You know the risk. The fumy awaits. These were images of Jesus or of the Virgin Mary set out by the authorities. Suspected Christians were ordered to step on them, to desecrate them, proving they had abandoned the faith. If you hesitated, if your foot trembled, the consequences could be severe. And yet some refused. Others complied outwardly, but clung to their faith in private, in silence. Over the years, this underground faith changed. Isolated from the world church, it evolved. Hymns were recited in words that no longer made sense. Saints were remembered, by names slightly misspoken. Holy days merged with local festivals. The line between Christianity and folklore blurred, but the spirit remained. It was not until the mid-19th century, after over 2 centuries of hiding, that Japan reopened to the West. And when Catholic missionaries returned, they found something astonishing. In small communities along the coast, people approached them, not openly, not all at once, but slowly, carefully. They asked just one question: where is the statue of the Virgin Mary? And thus the hidden Christians revealed themselves, not broken, not gone, just buried, like seeds under snow. To this day, some of their rituals persist, not quite Catholic, not quite Buddhist, but something in between. A quiet testimony to faith held not in public protest, but in generations of stillness.